Okay, think about this. Have you ever been right there in that massive high-stakes moment? Maybe it's the final pitch for a huge deal, or stepping onto the field, championship on the line, or maybe launching that product. You feel those bright lights, right? The intense scrutiny, that feeling everyone's watching, and maybe, just maybe, your whole worth is tied to this one outcome. How do you stay absolutely laser-focused on what you need to do when that pressure to win or just get validated feels overwhelming? Well, that exact challenge, that internal battle between your process and the outcome, that's what we're diving into today. Our mission here is to really explore a deceptively simple but incredibly powerful mental training tool. It's called DUST. So this concept comes to us for the practical wisdom of Coach Ed Padalecki, and interestingly, it connects deeply with the therapeutic insights, the performance psychology of author and psychiatrist Phil Stutz, especially from his book, The Tools.
And what's so compelling about DUST, I think, is its core principle. It helps us fundamentally shift our attention away from the outcome, the win or the loss, and lock it onto the process. For high-performing people listening, business leaders, coaches, athletes, cultivating this mindset, it isn't just nice to have, it's absolutely crucial. Crucial for consistent results, for maintaining that emotional balance, especially when you're operating at your peak. So this deep dive will unpack how you can actually build that mindset.
Let's get right into it then. Coach Padalecki shares this foundational idea. He calls it the archer's mindset. Picture Apollo, the Greek god, perfect aim. He represents this ability to choose a meaningful target, focus, fire the arrow with intent, and then, this is key, let it go. We face the same challenge as modern-day performance archers. In performance psychology, we talk about this a lot, task-focused, process-oriented performance. It's a mindset that's proven to drive consistency, minimize those emotional ups and downs. It means breaking the big goal down into the very next rep, right? Perfecting that pitch, ensuring clarity in the next sentence you write or say, not getting consumed by the final scoreboard.
Exactly. But if that's the ideal, the big question is, where do we usually go wrong? Because we do. The trap, as Coach Padalecki points out, is we often start with that laser focus on the process, but then, almost without noticing, we get emotionally snagged by the outcome. And that's where DUST comes in, not just as some metaphor, but as an essential cognitive tool. It helps interrupt that whole feedback loop.
And the way Coach P illustrates this is just so vivid. He paints this picture. Imagine you've made it. You're on the red carpet, flashbulbs popping, applause, the world showering you with validation. Total success, right? And then he asks you to picture cutting away to an abandoned attic, dust everywhere, motes floating in light. You walk to a corner, reach down, grab a handful of that symbolic dust, and you throw it. You throw it right over those bright lights, that red carpet scene. Why? Because those lights, that external validation, that urgent need to win or be praised, they can completely hijack your focus, your personal power even. It's a really strong visual.
It absolutely is. And the sports psychology behind this is really insightful. High performers, doesn't matter if it's sport or business, they often fall into what we call outcome dependence. And this isn't just feeling stressed. It's a psychological state where your self-worth gets deeply, sometimes unhealthily tied to a specific result. When that happens, anxiety spikes, and not just emotionally. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain handling executive function, rational thought, it can literally get hijacked by the amygdala's threat response. This narrows your cognitive focus. It hinders fluid execution, and inevitably performance suffers. So throwing dust, it's a powerful form of what psychologists call cognitive diffusion. You're seeing the thought of the outcome, acknowledging it, but consciously choosing not to fuse with its emotional pull. You're basically cutting its power over your present focus. As Stutz says, nothing outside of you can determine your worth unless you give it that power.
That makes complete sense. It's not just symbolic. It's almost like interrupting a neural pathway, reclaiming conscious control over where your attention goes. So what does this actually mean in practice? For you listening, trying to use this in the heat of the moment, Coach P gives a fantastic 1% better practice you can use right away. Let's say you're feeling that magnetic pull towards an outcome today. Could be a big deal you're trying to close, a crucial presentation, that upcoming game, a product launch, maybe a promotion you really want, or even just seeking someone's approval. Step 1, notice the attachment. Just acknowledge it's there. Feel that pull. Then, mentally, reach down and grab a handful of that symbolic dust. Next, really visualize throwing it over whatever that object of attachment is, the deal, the promotion, the approval.
And then, this is important, you smile. Just a little smile. You've just recentered yourself. You're no longer chasing those external shadows. You're owning your attention again and directing it with purpose. A common mistake, I think, is people try to just suppress the thought of the outcome altogether. Push it down. That often backfires, makes it stronger. Dust isn't about ignoring, it's acknowledging, then detaching. It's about liberating that mental and emotional energy that was getting eaten up by worry or needing praise. And this freed up cognitive bandwidth, it allows for more presence, more intuition, creative problem solving, exactly the qualities that mark elite performance. So dust really becomes a practical key to unlocking higher cognitive function, especially under pressure. It helps cultivate this, well, paradoxical mindset.
It's a powerful paradox, isn't it? It's what often separates the good from the truly great performers. The very best athletes, the most effective leaders, the most impactful creators, they care deeply about their mission, their craft, their team, deeply. Yet at the same time, they're somehow unattached to whether everything goes absolutely perfectly according to plan. They don't hang their whole identity, their well-being, on a specific outcome. That's what Coach Padalecki calls true mastery. Being fully engaged, fully invested, but without that emotional entanglement in the result. Completely invested in your purpose, but unburdened by the absolute need for a flawless external result.
That really sums up the shift, doesn't it? Moving from being dependent on the outcome to having this present moment clarity, owning your attention. It's not about not caring about results. It's about mastering that art of full engagement without emotional entanglement. Being all in, but free.
So, as Coach Padalecki encourages us, aiming to be 1% better, let's strive for this. Outcome detached, process obsessed. As you go about your day-to-day, just reflect. What might be lighting up a bit too brightly in your mind right now? Is it that huge deal, that launch, that promotion? Or maybe just meeting someone specific to approve of what you're doing? What in your world could use a little sprinkle of dust today? Mentally throw it, give it a little smile, and then get right back to your practice, empowered to direct your attention where you choose, with purpose. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We hope this gives you some food for thought as you continue on your journey.